Hey everyone, this is Ty, and welcome back to the channel. You know, I'm not a person who knows a lot about the technical specifications of a particular motorcycle. Neither am I a historian about Harley Davidson motorcycles and can quote month, day, year for you when they released a certain product. You know, since I've started posting my Sportster S videos, I've read just about every type of comment you can think of. A lot of love for the motorcycle, but there's also a lot of hate out there. Some people have been so inclined to even throw a few insults my way. That's okay, I can take it. But what I want to do today is take 3 claims that I hear over and over again, and let's examine those. So if you guys are ready, let's get into it. Why would someone say something like this in the first place? I would say that's because Harley Davidson usually makes a motorcycle in a particular way, and they do so, or they seem to do so, for a long period of time. On more than one occasion, I have heard people say that the Sportster S has nothing in common with the Sportster line except that it's powered by a V-twin engine. We're not talking about the Revolution Max right now, but we'll get there soon. Quite honestly, I've never heard a good, valid reason why someone believes this. It's usually just some type of insult, remark, or something with no basis. Again, just personal preference. But you and I, we don't make the call whether something is a Sportster or not. Harley Davidson does that. Harley Davidson has decided that this motorcycle is a Sportster. And since they are the authority on the product that they produce, then that's what it is. There's nothing that you and I can do about it. At some point in time, if Harley wants to rename the Sportster S to something else, they have every single right to do so. Again, you and I, we don't have to like it. We don't have to understand it. They call the shots on their own product. Well, first of all, the Revolution Max engine isn't air-cooled as most Harleys are right now. Instead, the 1250T is a liquid-cooled V-twin that has been documented of having around 121 horsepower and about 94 foot-pounds of torque. Again, I'm not going to go into the engine's technical specifications and pretend like I know what I'm talking about when I really don't. What I do know is that the engine is smooth, the motorcycle shifts well, and it is super fast and responsive. With the default and the customized ride modes, you have just about any type of configuration that you can think of. And if you are a well-seasoned rider with this motorcycle in sport mode, you can surely take off. Also, if you're not a seasoned rider, if you're a new rider, if you're a novice, you can leave the engine in rain mode until you're more comfortable with the motorcycle. Yes, the Revolution Max engine does not sound like a traditional Harley, but really, to be perfectly honest with you, I've got to the point now I'm comfortable with it, and I actually think it sounds good. Some of the pops and cracks and rumbles that come out of this thing really sound nice. So if you've been able to test ride a Sportster S or a Pan America, you know exactly what I'm talking about with the Revolution Max engine. And if you haven't been able to, I would highly encourage you to do so before you form an opinion about the motorcycle. I know that a lot of Harley traditionalists are not going to like this motorcycle, but personally, I'm glad to see Harley Davidson listen to their customer base, to look at their competition, and to do something about it. So far, my experience with this motorcycle and this engine has been overwhelmingly positive, and I hope so for others out there too. And quite honestly, I can't wait to see what Harley Davidson does with the next generation of the Revolution Max engine. So since the introduction of the Sportster in 1957, the motorcycle has really become a cornerstone for the Harley Davidson lineup. The Sportster has always had an air-cooled engine that provided that Harley rumble that everyone has come to know and love for sure. Traditionally, the Sportster has had little to no tech, a small gas tank, a low center of gravity, which, you know, that's one of the reasons it's so easy to ride for new riders.
A Sportster has always been a bike that can be easily modified and customized to whatever, you know, the rider wants and desires. You can pretty much do anything with them. Now enter the Harley Davidson Sportster S. So I've got to tell you, the Sportster S is just about everything that its predecessor isn't. And it is not your typical Harley Davidson for sure. Here's what I'm talking about by that. And some of these things are what people have so many problems with. So for one, the Sportster S has a water-cooled engine. The Sportster S is loaded with technology from RDRS, ride modes, color display, audio, navigation. It's all there. And if you really believe that the Sportster S isn't a real Harley Davidson, then first you need to define your terms and tell us what a real Harley Davidson is. For certain, the Sportster S is a departure from the normal Sportster that it has been in years past. But at some point, you would think that Harley must pivot and update their models instead of just being the same old Sportster that they put out year after year. So rest assured, the 2021 and the 2022 Harley Davidson Sportster S, oh yeah, it's a real Sportster and it's a real Harley. It's just that a real Harley isn't only one-of-a-kind bike anymore.